Well, apparently this is a parking garage, and everyone knew it because it's one of the few ones that has those like fleeting columns. Everyone knew exactly where it was shot.
Yeah, it's the University of Melbourne car park, I think.
Mhm.
The last of the
There's another thing I
V8s.
like about this is like all these little weird side characters, like the mechanic here, the guy at
Hmm.
the bar, the guy at the train station. Like they stick with you, even though a lot of them don't even say anything or they just have one line. But there's just something off about all of them, but it just stays with you.
Yeah, he does quirky
Right, it's like
characters
the
really well.
gyrocopter, pilot.
Oh yeah.
They're just like kind of ancillary, but like they're just wacky and off. Dude, the guy in the green hat looks like he could be like the Buffalo Bill's father from Silence of the Lambs.
Fifi.
Can't remember this guy's name. It's John someone. But he was sort of the biggest star of the movie because Mel Gibson was pretty much unknown at this point, whereas he'd been in quite a few Australian movies.
Yeah, he had to shave his head for the movie too. He's like, I
Who's
always
this
wanted
guy?
to shave my head. He's like a district attorney or something, but I like the fact that he just has to protect himself with a samurai or a fencing outfit when he goes outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has like a not judo, the sword fighting thing.
I think it was a samurai sword, but he had like a fencing helmet and like armor on.
Yeah, he's sort of, I guess, remnants of the old bureaucracy that can no longer sustain itself, whereas the cops are sort of more of these men of action, becoming more and more like the criminals they
Is
help.
that the guy who fought Indiana Jones in the plane?
You are getting your
And
large,
where's-
bald-headed, mustached men mixed up, man.
I'll
There's
do
more than
that.
one of them out there.
This whole scene here, one of the influences of the movie was Miller actually worked in an emergency ward and dealt with car crash victims. So he was exposed to a lot of mutilations and things like that. So he describes like part of the inspiration for the movie was looking at Australians' car culture and like the recklessness of the 60s and the 70s, where there was drunk driving was rampant and no one wore seatbelts and things like that, and there was just these horrific road tolls every week.
Yeah, well, we said that he originally wanted Mad Max to be a journalist, like visiting all these car crashes. That was where the idea came from first, and then they realized it wouldn't work, and they made him a cop. But yeah, his time as a doctor definitely played into it.
And the audience sort of becomes complicit in that because we're watching it for the car crashes. Like we're sort of mesmerized and horrified just as much as the characters are.
How many of the bikers can you name?
Oh, probably not many. 4 or 5. Toe Cutter,
Matt?
Bubba Zanetti,
Yeah, none for me.
Johnny the Boy. Who else was there? It's like the
Who wants his
mustache.
hand back?
There's the mustache guy, but I can't remember his name.
Kundalini. Kundalini would like his hand back.
Oh, that's it, yeah.
And Mudguts is him and Kundalini are the guys that are always like doing their slapstick comedy.
In their campy play fighting, yeah.
Yeah, that's Mudguts.
Yeah.
They were all method guys too. Like they stayed in character offset, like all this crazy stuff. They'd like write in blood, like we're gonna get you, bronzes, to like the actors who are the cops, and they were like terrified.
That's so cool. The guy who plays Toe Cutter, I think he's a proper Shakespearean actor.
Yeah.
But he goes full on in this, yeah. And I think a lot of the
It's a
extra.
good career move for him.
I think a lot of the extras are actual part of a motorcycle gang because they use people from the Vigilantes, which are a real gang, and they gave them the bikes to keep, but they didn't have enough money to actually transport them to Melbourne because they were all up in Sydney, so they basically just got them to ride all the way to the interstate, which I guess helped with their bonding, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
The balloon business is thriving.
Yeah, they'd say like some of them they never knew what scene they were going to shoot, so they just stayed in their outfits like all day, and like they'd go to restaurants and people wouldn't serve them because like they're like, get the fuck out of here, you punk, like crazy guy with blonde hair and a lady shirt on, or
Yeah.